Okay, so this is going to be another episode review for The Flash, and I gotta say, this episode right here, I didn't hate it. Let me say that right now. I didn't hate this episode, but I will say right now that this has probably been my least favorite episode. I will say that. This has probably been my least favorite, and I haven't really walked away from a Flash, from an episode of The Flash so far that made me go, no thank you. Just no thank you. This was the first time. However, I'm looking forward to next week's episode because that looks completely awesome. And let me say this right now. There were some really good things that kept me interested, especially that ending that made me geek out to no end. I'll get to that in a minute. Well, actually, later on in the review. Because, dear Lord, when I saw what happened at the little special preview and who's coming soon, I just went, eee. Oh man. So the main plot of this episode is Barry and Caitlin getting getting respective relationships. And to which I went, no, don't. I understand that this is February, and I guess this is supposed to be the Valentine's Day episode, unless next week is. But and here's the other thing: they really hinted a lot between Barry and Caitlin in here, and I'm like, no, don't do this because we've already got. Don't make Barry and Caitlin the next, Olicity thing, which we all know how well that's being handled in the series. Whatever. So, yeah, we also have Linda Park show up, and she's Barry's new love interest. I guess that's another middle finger to Wally West fans, myself included. Well, at least it's not that other character well, then again, they may show up have that other character, that new other love interest from the New 52 show up as well, so who knows? I mean, why because eventually, because I've heard things back and forth that Wally West will show up in the show, so why not just if you're really going to have Linda Park in the show and be a love interest, why not wait for Wally West to show up and have Linda be his love interest? I mean, whatever. Okay. Whatever, CW. Now, like I said, there were some really good oh yeah, let me get this out of the way right now. Let me get this out of the way, because this really got under my skin out of everything else. Everything else. This got under my skin the most. When Barry is, when Barry is going on tells Iris he's on a lunch date for Iris, you can clearly see on Iris's face that she's not happy. To which I went, no, you don't get to do this, TV. You don't get to do this. Because how many times has Iris tried to get Barry to go out with somebody else? How many times has she done that? And also, didn't they clear up all the bullshit between, all the, romantic stuff between them about 2 episodes ago? Wasn't it they were going to be friends? I mean, yeah, obviously Iris and Barry are going. That's the inevitability because Iris and Barry are, the two. They're like Superman and Lois Lane and all that. Those two great loves. So that's the end game right there. Similar with Laurel and Oliver. We know they're going to get together. So why? Obviously, I was totally fine with them clearing the air for a while. But why, when they did that scene, on just Iris's expression of that, I went, no, you don't get to do that after ending that little story arc and not damaging everything and not making it like CW love bullshit. You don't get to do that. So, yeah, guess we're going to be dealing with love triangles in this show now. Hopefully it won't be as bad as it is in Arrow. Or bad as it's gotten, excuse me. So, yeah, that's a great way of looking at it. I'm sorry, I just had to get it off my chest. Now let me talk about the really good things, because there were some really good things. Starting off with probably my favorite stuff, the stuff between Barry and his dad. Oh my god, the stuff between Barry and his father is amazing. Like, I really, this, when they've talked, I've always felt like this warm, fuzzy feeling whenever they've talked. But this time around, I pretty much, teared up in that final scene where, Barry's dad, hints that, pretty much does, kind of, well, how do I put this? He pretty much knows that Barry is the Flash and says that without saying it out loud, and he's giving his advice to, the Flash if he was quote-unquote his father, to which I choked up. I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna cry. Like, each moment, especially that first moment when they find, when Joe pulls some strings together to have Barry and his dad meet face to face, and he gets to hold his hand. I can't even imagine, finally getting to hold someone's parent that after not being able to even touch them for so long. And that moment where they're just holding hands for a few seconds, that's the closest they've gotten to hug for God knows how long. So I literally, I was like, monster trucks, be a man. So that happened. But yeah, that was the stuff between Barry and his dad. Each scene with Barry and his father was amazing. Also, I love the quote-unquote breakout scene with Barry and this character Julian, who, if I'm not mistaken, I think that was Scott McNeil, the voice actor for Dinobot and a lot of the Beast Wars characters, and he's been a voice actor for, Koga from Inuyasha and several other animes. So I was like, I looked at it and I paused, and I even redid the scene, rewound the scene, thinking to myself, was that Scott McNeil? I could be wrong, but I think that was Scott McNeil. Oh man, I could be wrong, but I think that was Scott McNeil. And that scene made me laugh. So, what else to talk about? Oh yeah, we got to see Caitlin vomit. Yeah, thank you for that cinematic piece of history, CW runners. That was clearly needed. And I don't know, can Grant Gustin sing or not? Because that was, if he can, wow, really good pipes. I'll say that much. But no, the scene between him and Caitlin at that bar was just agonizing. A little bit hilarious when they did the singing thing, but all around it was just kind of painful. Anyway, so, what's another good thing? Oh yeah, Cisco and Pied Piper's scenes where they're investigating, what happened to Ronnie Raymond. And, yeah, Cisco can be a character that can be really annoying but really cool at the same time. And I loved the scene where, when Hartley tries to run away and he's like, no way, no way, asshole. Vibe. Well, it's alluding to more vibe stuff. Also, I really loved the scene where he admits to everybody that I let, Hartley escape because I was looking for Ronnie. And Caitlin, I thought Caitlin was going to go into this whole tirade, but then she said, you know what Ronnie would say? It's not your fault. It couldn't be helped. You just wanted to be happy. And I was like, oh, that's a very mature way to handle it. Granted, if I was in those shoes, I'd have beat his ass senseless, because now he's escaped, and hopefully, maybe next time we'll see the Pied Piper, it will be with the rest of the rogues. He's been running off, and then Captain Cold and the other rogues find him, and they make the rogues gallery bigger. I'm really hoping for that. In fact, I was kind of thinking that was going to be the end scene. I really thought that was going to be the end scene in this episode, but it turned out to be something else, which I was so happy about. Let's talk about the superhero plot, the superhero villain plot, starring Peekaboo, lesser-known Jeff Johns villain, which was a teleporter. And I really liked the science behind the teleportation and all that, and it was the teleporting effect was really cool. Also, the fight between Flash and Peekaboo, awesome. I really like the whole teleporting and rape, because I've always liked that kind of I've always wanted to see those kind of matchups happen, teleporters versus speedsters, because the speedster can be wherever you want, but then zoop, gone. So I like especially the end fight between the two, so that was really cool. And now we come to the scene where I geek out the most. So it ends with two sewer workers, going down into a sewer to... Oh yeah, one more thing with the end fight between Peekaboo and Flash. I think that could be the same tunnel that we saw the end fight in Season 2 of Arrow. I could be wrong, but I think that was the exact same tunnel. But anyway, let me get back to this. So yeah, there's two sewer workers down in this, obviously sewer, and they're looking around for like a pipe main or something. I don't care. That's not important. But what they find is like writing on the wall, and you can't tell from far away. I thought it was like alchemy symbols, and I thought they were building up to Dr. Alchemy. But then we get a closer look at the symbols, or should I say words, or rather a word, or should I say a name, Grodd. And at that moment, I squealed like a fangirl. And it got better, because then we see Grodd. Well, he looks... I can't tell if it's a suit or CGI. It looks CGI to me, but it could be a suit. I couldn't tell because it was dark, but you can clearly see Grodd as an ape, and I loved it. I geeked out so hard. So yeah, Grodd is coming, and I could not be more happier. They've been like... I love how he's been kind of like at first you see him... Well, you see his name, the cage broken out. Then you see, obviously, Grodd in the past doing that flashback between Wells and Eiling. Now we officially see Grodd in all of it. And it looks at the end, of course, he looks intelligent. I mean, he's writing his name. But then again, some apes are capable of that, or can be trained in doing that. But I'm guessing he's smarter than the average ape. Anyway, so with the main plot, the romantic bullshit aside, this could, and I said that this was probably my least favorite episode, obviously because of the main stuff with the lovey-dovey CW crap, but the stuff with Barry and his dad, the stuff between Cisco and Hartley, and discovering more about Ronnie Raymond, which we already figured out, but hey, it's kind of cool to see that effect of them merge. And little stuff with the fight between Peekaboo, the action scenes between Peekaboo and Flash were really good. So I don't absolutely hate this episode. I think it just bugged me, all that little, romantic stuff really just irked me to no end. But having said that, though, I really did like, there were some scenes that certainly made up with this episode. So I'll forgive it for that. I will forgive it for that. And of course, you can't go wrong with Grodd. Anyway, so you guys tell me, what did you guys think of this episode? Did you guys like it? Did you guys hate it? Just comment below and let me know. And yeah, I'm out.